Hello, friends. Welcome back to Saturday Evenings Posted Mostly with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308, and we are here with the Peanut Gallery and the ASOC Prod Cat. How are you guys doing?
Sleepy.
Sleepy?
Moo.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of there with you. Um, So before we came on, we were talking about the storm that hit Charlottesville yesterday. Tornado warnings, but not an actual tornado. A tornado never quite manifested, but it was tornado strength winds, hail, thunder and lightning, downed trees.
Very, very frightening me, Galileo. Galileo.
Galileo,
Oh, sorry.
Galileo, Galileo
Softball-sized hail in
Figaro.
Louisa.
Softball sized hail in Louisa. Yeah, I don't think the hail was full on softball size where I was when it hit.
No, it was described more as ping pong sized by
Yeah.
the weather reports.
Whatever size it was, that was the point at which I realized it was time to be outside, or not in the car, but in a building. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I was driving into town with Head Not Right and Super Dan. The storm was supposed to be headed southeast, and that was the direction we were coming into town from. And when I heard the storm, when we got the alert, I thought, okay, I'll just drive around town. I'm going to drive around the storm and wait for it to get out of town. And I'm pretty sure I got around the worst of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't get, by the time I got to the east side of town, I think the worst of it had started passing south and sort of went just under where we were. We had just mentioned also that a tree had come down on the 250 bypass, blocking both westbound lanes and one of the eastbound lanes. Is that correct?
Yep.
Do we have any news on any other destruction that the storm caused? A few trees down up at Pantops. When I drove over Free Bridge, and looked down at the encampment, the unhoused encampment looked pretty good. It looked like they weathered the storm pretty good.
Um, let's see. Massive power outages, of course.
Of course. The power where High Street and what's its name? the Never mind. I'm not going to be able to describe it well enough to get anybody to get the street name.
You know the building next to the intersection?
Used to be Richmond Camera. Right there.
Okay.
Yeah, right there at Tubby's.
Yep. High Street and River Road.
Right. High Street and River Road. There was a power outage. the light there was out.
Mm.
Oh. Okay, so where the tree fell on 250 on the 250 bypass
Mm-hmm.
was right next to the fire station.
Yep.
And the light at
Oh.
the emergency light at the fire station was out.
Oh,
Yup.
it was that part of 250.
It was right there. It's like, man. Oh, what the? That's just asking for trouble. So any
You got
other,
some chainsaws in close response.
huh?
At least you know you got some chainsaws in close response when that happens.
That's true.
True.
That explains why all of eastbound was cleared up by the time I got there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Any other destruction?
Um, Structure fire in Keswick that might have been lightning related.
Okay. Okay.
The only
Oh,
other thing really is that this happened on a weekend where Nelson is busy doing their remembrance for Camille, which I'm sure.
They had a live reenactment.
Yeah.
it just shows you that the weather around here has a sense of humor.
For those that are not familiar with local history at all, 57 years ago, Hurricane Camille came through and basically cleaned most of Nelson County off the map.
Right. So anybody that is much older than me had PTSD response from that and was going, "Oh God, it's happening again."
Very much so. From people that I have talked to that lived through that, they went to bed with a storm happening like we had, and when they woke up, either they were still there and all their neighbors were gone, or they couldn't get to the other side of the river because everything on the other side of the river was gone, including the roads.
Right.
Oh, you mean like what's happening in Indiana currently?
Yes,
Yes.
Indiana is flooding.
Indiana
Colorado
is,
has got mudslides.
and California is burning again.
California's burning again, and there are firefighters that are being deployed from, I want to say, Ireland. We are importing overseas firefighters to help with this.
Oh, and Colombia got hit with an earthquake, as well as
Yep.
Indonesia just recently.
Right?
Let's see. What else is? What
Well,
other?
let's see. Record heat waves, record droughts, climate change isn't real. Um,
Right. Right. Yes. Record heat, record droughts, record climate change isn't real. The Virginia is not under extreme. Most of Virginia is not under extreme drought conditions anymore, though.
I mean, we still have drought conditions, but it's not at the point where they were getting ready to ration water anymore.
Right.
oh yeah, because the reservoirs got refilled, but we haven't had a good soak in to help replenish some of the groundwater yet.
Yeah.
No, we haven't, and we're not gonna. We're gonna keep getting these violent, nasty, erosive, explosive, erosive storms.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why, if you can, you should be growing growing plants outside that have good, strong root systems and will help break the wind up and hold the dirt in place. All right.
So you need plants to help break the wind so that you can avoid the violent outburst and pouring of brown water.
And this, folks, is why we need fiber. All right, so I guess let's go ahead and just sort of hop into the news.
I don't have a whole bunch of stories selected because
No,
this has been kind of rough for me at work.
I get that, and I've been doing other things too.
Oh, I know the one that I was going to look up. I've got
So
one I'm going to drop in chat while you're looking at that.
okay, I was gonna say let's start with just some basic like what's actually going on in the world.
Yeah.
But sure, let's see. What do we got here? Oh yeah, what was this about the 8-year-old catches piranha during lake fishing trip with his dad?
Yeah.
I have so many questions about that. Where were they fishing? Pennsylvania? Oh no, they're from Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's do this.
Oh, that's local news too, so haha.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. All right. Let's set all that up. There we go. There we go. Okay. Ridley Park, Pennsylvania. A regular weekend fishing trip for a father and son from Pennsylvania took an irregular turn when the son caught something unusual in the lake. So it happened in
Lettuce?
Pennsylvania. Huh?
It became irregular when they caught lettuce.
Ah, very good. Very good.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck with a bunch of crappy jokes today, so I'm going to keep going.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it was in Pennsylvania. Uh, and they don't
The
know
entire
who put it
punchline
there.
really is we went fishing in a lake or a pond in Pennsylvania and caught a piranha.
I'm going with they're probably assuming somebody threw away an exotic pet, and it.
This is how we get Lake Placid. Check the shoreline for crazy little old ladies and their cows.
Okay, so I was going to touch on this when we were talking about the fires. Because in the news report that I heard, the python kicked over a heating lamp.
Wait.
And it
The
wasn't
python.
until a few seconds later that I had that wait, hold on moment. And I'm going,
Okay.
how, wait, how? So I think the bigger story is, how did NPR let that slide? How did Radio IQ not catch that somebody said a snake kicked over something? Because, if snakes can kick now, if snakes get a whole new type of karate,
That's
like
how it happened.
Cobra Kai Dojo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, in that case.
Scroll down to the last picture. That's how it happened.
I don't know if I can see the pictures. It's
No,
in.
no, not on there. On Discord.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's how it kicked it over.
By the way, we have had this picture up and discussed it before.
Yes, we have. Uh, yeah. DuckDuckGo introduces normal sunglasses for $30, which is
No, no,
actually.
no. They're smart glasses.
Yes, they are.
Oh,
They're smart because they don't have AI always monitor. They aren't always monitoring your location. They
I mean,
aren't always
yes,
reporting everything they see to someone else. So therefore, they are smart glasses.
right. Uh, $35 for a pair of premium sunglasses, though.
Yeah.
It's actually really cheap.
I mean, they're right
Really?
alongside with the gas station sunglasses.
Huh?
They're right along cost with the gas station sunglasses.
Well, only a little more. They're only a little more than gas station sunglasses, which I feel like is part of why DuckDuckGo is selling out of them, is because, like, if you're not going to charge a lot of money for if you're not going to charge a lot of money for good products and you've got a nice marketing gimmick, it's going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's my thought there. So this we'll come to this next story in a second, because that opens up a whole can of worms,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to get us into some geopolitical stuff.
Yeah,
We got to watch out what the worms might kick over.
this is
Yeah,
true.
really.
True.
Although they're not going to kick over nearly as much as a snake would.
Hopefully. So those are the ones that caught my attention this week, really. Um,
Oh, the aircraft carrier heads towards Mideast.
that is the
Well,
answer to what was happening earlier this week.
yeah, yep. And like I said, we'll get to that in just a minute. So other things something that really caught my interest is Mangione
Pled guilty to stalking in federal court.
yep. Well, that was the charges, was felony stalking. He pled guilty and he admitted to the murder. But because of double jeopardy, he may not get convicted of the murder.
Mm-hmm.
he may get a longer sentence for the felony stalking, and probably will get a longer sentence for the felony stalking
Mm-hmm.
than the
Well,
murder.
because of all of the, what's the word they use? Aggravating factors.
Mm,
They're talking somewhere between 25 to life on the aggravated stalking because of the attached factors.
right.
But
And it's leaning towards life.
leaning towards life. But first of all, this is miles from where they started out, where the death penalty was on the table.
I mean, it is. It is.
Um,
Um,
and it is also working towards ending up having all of the state charges dismissed because the federal ones have taken precedence.
right. And if that happens, he may face a steeper sentence. But I think what he's looking at is a moral victory.
That, and he will be imprisoned someplace better than a state facility.
That's a. I mean, yeah. It's if yes, he will go to Club Fed.
Right. He'll be at Club Fed. He won't be at the New York State.
Right. That is true.
Um,
However, I mean, yeah, that may be part of what he's going for, but I really think he's going for the moral victory of not getting convicted of this murder because
yeah.
morally he feels like it is not he doesn't feel like he was unjustified in the murder.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad it didn't happen in Texas.
Mm,
Because I'm pretty sure he can get enough people to sign that petition.
Oh, probably.
to get him off or to get him.
No, old law on the Texas books, or rumored to still be on the Texas books. Not sure if it still is, but it used to be if you had enough people, which originally was 12 people, not related and not directly tied to you, sign a petition for quote unquote he needed a killing. It didn't count as murder.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, no. There are enough people who felt like he needed a killing.
That's why I say too bad it didn't happen in Texas. I'm
In
certain they could have
old
got that
Texas.
petition
Oh
filled.
God, yeah.
Over and over and over again.
Oh yeah. So
You got
there was that. Um, what were you
flock
about to
camera
say?
hijinks abound.
What?
Flock camera hijinks abound.
Yes. And Roanoke says no to flock cameras, I think was it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, more and more localities are refusing to work with flock.
Telling them to go flock off.
Yeah.
Flock has apparently released an update to their software with strengthened privacy guardrails, which is not helping because they're like, so you're strengthening it now.
Right. It's like, oh, what was it before?
This is in addition to there has been enough damage done to flock cameras that they had to revise their policy. Because originally they would replace the camera if it was damaged for free. And now they are refusing to replace them for free anymore.
Which means more places are like, nah, good.
which is then followed by a rise in people, not just the anonymous removal of cameras, but there are people that are just setting up station in front of the cameras and holding a sign on a pole in front of the camera.
Or
Not touching.
a reflective surface that obscures everything or something like that. I heard about a guy
Not
who
a
was
reflective surface. It's usually a sign that just says "Go flock yourself" with the actual F word in there.
Yes.
oh um
And they're just sitting there with their umbrella, their beach chair, their drink, and their sign on a pole, holding it there all day.
I heard about a guy who sat there with a reflector and
Yep,
aimed the light back at the camera.
that has worked too.
Um,
It's there've been different variations, but pretty much it's just finding a camera and setting up with your chair and your drinks, and knowing you have nothing to do for the next couple hours, so you might as well sit there and hold a sign or a reflector or whatever and make in
right,
protest of the thing being there.
right. Um, Speaking of locales being anti something, there's a push in the local governments for a moratorium on data centers.
Yes.
This has become a topic in the local races. A lot of people talking about that.
Given the way anybody that has a Dominion energy bill, given the way their energy bill jumped last year because of the data centers, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Uh, I, the lady that I sit with, I was looking at her bills, and the way the bills, at least the ones that she gets from Dominion, it shows you what your usage is and what the price is that you paid this year versus this time last year. So it
Yeah.
gives you kind of like a year in review, month by month thing.
Yeah.
And like she was not at home for most of October last year.
Okay.
She was in a care facility.
Oh wow.
So she wasn't home using that much electricity, just the basic bare minimum to keep air circulating around the house, whatever.
Yeah.
So her usage was way down, but she paid more for October of last year than she did the year before, when she'd been home running the AC, running the TV, running the fans, doing everything.
Yep. And this is a common story across the uh Dominion. Across the Dominion.
Yeah,
And Dominion is the one that is trying to merge with the Florida company, yes?
I think so.
I had not heard about that.
There's a merger trying to go through that's sort of stalling out. Spamberger said she wants more time to look at it. And a lot of people are going, this may not be a good thing. I haven't looked at the details of it in any way, shape, or form, but I'm immediately wary of it. So,
Well, my personal opinion, without any of the facts on record being known, is your local power company should be local.
Yeah.
I personally, in my opinion, Dominion is too big to be a local power company.
It is a regional power company, and it is still well outside of the region to go to effing Florida.
Yes, it is.
And Dominion is, I think, is too large to be helpful to its customers. I think I don't think it's
Some,
responsive to its customers because it doesn't have to be because it has so many. I
and which is
really,
just weird. I
yeah.
don't know the actual sizes for like Dominion versus AEP, but the outage maps that I see for both of them seem to be pretty huge and cover, a couple of different states. But AEP has always been, at least in my experience, very responsive to whatever's going on where you are.
I
And the
actually,
only one more responsive would be, the Virginia Co-op.
yeah. VEC is pretty all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
they
got
have,
VEC and then APCO. And then after that,
yep,
it's like, oh, them.
yeah,
Much like with internet in the area where people are like, do you have Firefly or Ting? And you go Brightspeed. Oh,
oh, them.
yeah.
I have Firefly. I have Firefly through VEC.
Because they had the deal first.
Yup, and uh, yeah, got in early. I got really good rates on the installation, and the deal because
Well,
I
we've
got
got
in so
cable
early.
internet through Sony.
Yeah. Which is still somehow better than Brightspeed.
Not by much.
Yes, but it does not elicit the same, oh.
Oh,
It's
it's
not a
you
happy you
know
have this person, but it is nowhere near the
it's
dejected.
it's better than dial up. For much of my life, the best we had was dial up. And when the wind blew too hard, it would kick me off the internet.
Or it rained more than 10 minutes.
Right.
Ours was if it rained more than 10 minutes because the phone line went underground like 2 miles from where we were living. It went underground and through a farmer's field, and somewhere in that field there was a chink in the conduit, and if it rained more than 10 minutes, water would get in and the line would go dead.
Damn.
And it took until we got ready to move out of that area in 99 before they finally fixed it to where the phone stayed active when it was raining.
Wow.
So that's 10 years. That was at least 10 years of weather
Yeah.
related reports being filed with what was then Sprint,
Oh, God. Sprint.
because they were the only ones.
Yeah. They were. For so much of the area, they were the only ones. There were such communications. 1999. Were you traveling on the Oregon Trail? Hey, Maddie. Yeah, for so long. I mean, there were some pretty strong monopolies in the communications industry in this area for a long time. It was, and there have been some pretty impressive monopolies like in the area. I'm
Mm.
trying to think of other than communications. Uh,
Power, cable.
Power cable, yeah. Power cable. Um, Utilities in general.
Grocery stores.
Yeah, Kind of.
For
I
a
mean,
long while, if you had a grocery store, if it wasn't an
Telegraph.
IGA or Food Lion, then it sold rich food products.
Okay. I I guess okay, so for me we had I feel like I had a pretty good range of grocery stores growing up. Now uh granted, you know, local it was IGA or Food Lion, and for the most part, in the places I was, it was IGA.
Yeah.
But we didn't shop local. We came into Charlottesville, and it was Kroger, Giant, Food Lion, and my mom was a deal hunter. So it could be any one of them. Um, but when I was a kid, when I was a little kid, when we were in Louisa, uh, we had a choice between Safeway or A&P,
Hmm.
which became at A&P we mind our P's and Q's.
Right.
Oh God, what did A&P become?
I
Giant.
What?
think
Giant.
No. Oh, I can almost come up with it. Um,
Coles.
what?
Let's see. They became
Peniform? Gosh, you're lucky. I had a guy with
most of the
cupped hands
A&P
shouting
stores
really
got sold
loud.
to Kroger.
Really? Kroger.
With various other things getting sold off when they finally shut down in 2015.
What what were some of the because it didn't turn into a Kroger in Louisa.
The other
It wasn't a Kroger.
A&P turned into, in some places, they turned into Kohl's food stores.
Kohl's. Huh.
KOHL, yeah. Um, let's see, they spun off their 8 o'clock coffee division and that got sold to something else. Ultra Food was what was happening up in Canada.
It's ready squared versus diamond.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What?
Let's see, Pathmark was bought. That turned into that.
Interesting. I can't remember what it became in Louisa. So far, it has not been any of those.
Iga.
Albertsons, Stop and Shop, ShopRite, Price Right.
Price Right sounds right.
Um, Save a Center. Basically, 2015, 2010 to 2015, they started doing their bankruptcy, and things were sold off piecemeal and became different stores. So you've got
This
Family
was
Mart
this
plus
was
Super
before
Cash.
that. This was way
Huh?
before that.
Like I said,
Maybe it was something else became the AMP.
could have been Farmer Jack because that
No,
was one that was around that got turned into A&P
no,
and Pathmark
IGA.
might have been.
no.
Anyway, they turned.
The IGA was in Mineral.
Yeah, Food Basics.
The Safeway was this. There was a
Food
Safeway in
Emporium.
Louisa too. There's a Safeway, a Ben Franklin, Tasty Freeze, Golden Skillet, um, and an A
Now
and
you're
P.
skipping out of grocery stores into just food.
No, this was what was in that little downtown area in Louisa. These were the things that we went into Louisa for.
Yeah.
They're the chains because there was also it was also I liked the place. Other people thought it was awful. And I think it's still there. American Italian place called Roma's, and I loved it. It whatever it had as its version of pepperoni pizza became my definitive version of pepperoni pizza.
So what it might have been before A&P bought it was a Colonial store.
Mm-mm.
It was a chain of grocery stores.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't Colonial.
You don't remember a
No, I'm
sign
pretty
of
sure it
chicken?
wasn't post-colonial.
Ah,
I remember it being A&P first, and then the sign going from A&P had an oval-shaped sign that was kind of two circles offset with A&P in the middle.
right.
And it changed into a green oval of the same size. And I remember there being some weird star-shaped thing in the logo. And
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Soylent supermarkets.
What?
Soylent supermarkets.
Soylent
Because it was a green symbol.
It's Soylent Green.
Yeah.
I want to say, my mind keeps trying to say it sounds like James Way. But James Way moved into Orange right behind the house we lived in Orange, like the year after we moved there. So I know it's not a James Way. And it's not a Safeway because the Safeway stayed where it was in Louisa until I was in high school. Until Safeway in general went under, I think.
Safeway did not go under. It just went west.
Yeah.
Until
And
Safeway
south.
went west and south.
Our food security's gone south, but that's beside the point.
That's yeah. So I don't remember what the green one was, what the green logo was. Like, I can't come up with a name. And Price Smart seems, or Foodway or Price Way.
Yes, very much, Maddie.
This reminds me of listening to my older family members going on about how he used to live where back in the 1970s. Where the man Johnsons used to live. Well, Well, their barn burned down in the 1990s, and Nancy moved to Phoenix. And she's been dead for about 12 years, and now her son, you remember Jared, he's out in Nebraska now. He was the one who grew up. He was the one who lived down the road from Jenny before the horrible accident. You know, Jenny's now. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop. No, I am.
See, Maddie, you just made me feel painfully old by saying the 1990s and the 1970s as opposed to just the 90s and the 70s.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've reached a point in history where we can no longer say back in the 20s because we're there again.
Yep. We're coming up on having to say the new 19s.
I still love being able to say, you know, back before turn of the century and watching people's faces just fall.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like, but damn it.
It was Jared's brother who lost his leg as a teenager in that grain elevator accident. You remember that grain elevator that was out by the Van Johnson's farm. What I will say is, in my defense, I've been like this my entire life. I have been old my entire life. But trying to remember the landmarks of Louisa. Oh my God. And okay, like these were 1970s grocery stores. They really were. Like, well, I mean, for even before that, these were old. These were old when I was young. What were we talking about? How did we get here?
For some reason, someone said that food monopolies were part of the thing, and then we went off on grocery
Oh,
stores.
that's right, food monopolies. Okay, so Maddie, so uh when we went to the Ren Fair, we drove past the site of the first elementary school that I went to in Mineral, Virginia. That was the first non-hippie school I went to, Mineral Elementary. And it's not it, it's at least no longer a smoking pile of rubble. Um yeah, that was okay. So the Ramble Down Times uh, update or feature came with the last update that happened recently on an unknown day or undisclosed day. That's part of the game to figure out.
And we still haven't gotten a hold of the patch notes, so we're all kind of out of luck on that one.
Yep. Yep. I'm 1 year closer to 50. And
Want to feel old?
huh?
No.
Do you want to feel old?
Sure. Well, hold on. Let me finish talking about the destruction of my elementary school, because it went down. What year was the earthquake?
Oh,
Yeah, so that's how aging works. Well, until you hit 50, then every year you get older, you get a year further away from 50. That's how math works. Sorry. Um so yeah, there was an earthquake that was like centered right right there in Mineral. I think on the school, on my first elementary school. But it was also really close to the nuclear power plant.
Are you talking about the thing that happened in '06?
Was that the year? Was it '06?
probably.
The Mineral, the big earthquake that was in Mineral, that started, that the epicenter was in Mineral.
And could be felt all the way up in New York.
Yeah. Like,
Yep.
that's awful close to a nuclear power plant to be having earthquakes, folks. But yeah, that
So,
took out my first elementary school.
11. I thought that was 2011.
okay. I just
It
remember when it happened. I was in the living room of the house I was renting at the time. One of my roommates was there. There was a loud crack, and a couple of things fell off the wall. Luckily, no one was near them because they were swords. And my roommate goes, "Was that a bomb? Did someone blow up the factory?" Because we lived near a factory. It's like, no, that was an earthquake. Because I kept on playing. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? No, it was an earthquake. I paused my game, turned on the news. Earthquake. See, told you. Go back to my game.
that was a we're okay next to the plastic factory, right? You're like
Yep.
not too far from the plastic factory, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I was in the center of the village. I was in the center of the same town when it hit. And it lasted quite a bit longer than that for me because I felt it hit. I was working on a floor. I was doing flooring. And it hit while I was inside the house I was working on. I felt it hit.
Yeah, but there was an audible crack before you actually felt anything,
Oh,
wasn't there?
I don't know. I was listening to something. I felt
Okay.
it before I heard anything. So, well, as soon as I felt it start, I ran outside. Like, I busted ass outside. Uh, and there was this cement pad in the yard outside that I went and stood on. And it felt like I was surfing on solid ground. Like I felt the solid ground under me shifting like fluid. It was unsettling.
I did not get the full sensation. I was sitting on a halfway decent cushioned couch, cross legged, not touching the floor. When things started shaking, there was boom, things started shaking, a couple things fell down, and an acquaintance of ours said that he thought it was a bomb. And like, no, it's an earthquake.
No, it's an earthquake. I could have I could have heard the crack. I don't that was not a detail that stood out in my memory. Then again, okay, I'm used to hearing loud noises around that town.
No, no, I did not think I had indigestion first.
Ha! What did my stomach
Because
do to the
my
couch?
indigestion's not going to knock something off the wall while I'm sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Now, the person who was in the room with me
Yeah, I
might
was
have been
about
able to
to
see
say,
that while on the
wasn't it?
couch, but do what?
Yeah, wasn't the person in the room with you capable of intense flatulence?
Oh yes,
If you fed corn to them,
yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I it was I had no like I would not a loud boom, a loud crack, something like that would not my immediate thought would not be that they were attacking the plastic factory. The plastic factory, as dangerous to the world as it is relatively innocuous when it came to like their politics. You know, they're a German based company, and they just kept themselves to themselves. I could see no reason for wanting to attack it. And also the paper mill that's right there also.
Paper mill.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a West Vaco right there. There's a West
Yep.
Vaco right next to the Klockner.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's why downtown Gordonsville smells like chemicals sometimes.
See, I'm
The
used to being near paper mills, and it did not have that smell.
Oh, I'm
It must be a
saying
much smaller paper mill than what I'm used to.
there are other yeah, it wasn't big. I think it's gone now. It's been gone. And its front no, that used to be the newspaper office. Yeah, the paper mill is behind what used to be the newspaper office. Up there on High Street, right over the tracks, there's that big sort of corrugated metal building that's now a collection of small businesses, and there's that industrial yard right next to the train tracks behind it, and that was all West Vaco. Volcano Discovery. What's this now? Oh, August 23rd, 2011. Yeah.
So back to something I was saying earlier. You want to feel old?
Yeah, let's do that. What do you got? How bad can it be?
Back to the Future.
Oh, I hate you.
That'd be going to 96 if it happened today.
What?
That would
Wait.
be going back to the good old days of 1996 if it happened today.
Thus proving
That
Maddie's
means
question of Oregon Trail.
that means I am of a very similar age to Marty McFly's dad. I guarantee the plastic and paper factories caused more environmental pollution and damage to your community than the nuclear plant. I guarantee it too. Now,
Yes and
okay,
no.
Mineral and Gordonsville are, I'd say, about 50 miles apart. Somewhere in that range. So,
The difference is the plastic and paper factory would be doing environmental damage that would be unaccounted for, whereas the environmental damage for the nuclear plant was accounted for in the planning stages and then creation of Lake Anna, which, let's be honest, is straight up environmental damage.
I mean, yes. And there is environmental damage being done, unaccounted for environmental damage being done in the continual warming of Lake Anna by introducing the warm water that's being used to cool the rods. Yes. Also, far less immediately frightening than if they blew up than if the nuclear power plant blew up. True.
Yep.
And I'm going to say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think that maybe some of the environmental damage from the plastic and paper plants are generational. There are probably some generational effects felt. There's probably a spike in certain types of illnesses in children who grew up in Gordonsville in a certain time. Yeah, that is an if. That is a big if. And honestly, South Anna Power Plant is fairly safe as far as power plants go, as far as nuclear power plants go.
See, what I love about
The
nuclear
problem
plant.
is that there is a pretty major fault line running through Virginia, not far from Gordon's or from Mineral. Like there are parts of Louisa County that are right on this massive fault line. And I think that it is fundamentally a bad idea to build a nuclear power plant on a fault line.
Well,
Probably
at the time that it
fundamentally,
was designed and built, that fault line was not really considered to be there, considering how long it had been inactive.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. 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 And an average output by law of averages, nuclear is a very green power source.
Oh yeah, I'm fully in favor of nuclear. I'm just
I am as well. I am
I love the
I
fact that you cannot have a coal power plant within, I believe it is 5 or 10 miles of a nuclear power plant because the radiation emitted from the burning of the coal would set off the sensors inside the nuclear plant.
I forgot about that.
wait, what?
The radiation emitted from
From the
burning the carbon for the coal
right would set
would
off.
set off the radiation detectors for warning systems inside the nuclear power plant within 5 or 10 miles. I think it's 5, it might be 10. So if
So
it
they
spikes
are.
to something that is within housing distance of a coal plant, the nuclear plant shuts down.
Yeah, like the safety. Okay. I was. Yeah, that is really sensitive. That is. Like, could you shut down one of these nuclear power plants with enough bananas? How many bananas do you need to shut down one of these nuclear power plants?
Also depends on what region you source the bananas from. Yeah, but I'm certain if you went in there with a couple of buckets of glow in the dark paint,
Oh, that would work. Glow in the dark paint would work. If the paper plant blew up, imagine all the paper cuts cutting the entire population. Okay, so about about a country block away from where the paper plant industrial yard is an elementary school. The only reason Chernobyl was found out because somebody walked through a radiation sensor at a nuclear plant in Norway and the fallout had blown that far. Oh wow. Wow. Um, so, all right. Now that we've discussed landmarks all over central Virginia,
Mhm.
Shall we discuss another nuclear power plant?
sure, what you got?
Indiana.
Oh, okay, wait. What happened in Indiana?
The USS Indiana.
Oh, is that the one they're sending out to replace
Yeah,
the new one to replace the Lincoln? Is it the Lincoln?
it's the Lincoln. The Lincoln's the one that's been out there since November.
Oh, I thought it was Indiana for some strange reason.
No, but
Yeah,
Indiana
okay.
is flooding, so that makes sense.
And Lincoln's home. So
They're sending out yeah, so
not
the
bad.
USS Lincoln that's okay. The USS Lincoln had been has been out in the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz for how long?
They
Like
deployed in November for something else, and then they got redirected to the Strait um, when they were supposed to be on their way back home for resupply.
okay. So they've been out on deployment for a very long time. Usually people replace the Lincoln with a Buick.
Point, very good point, Maddie.
Well played. Uh so yeah, they've been out on deployment for a very long time. And there is a considerable loss of morale on the Lincoln.
That
Um,
is politely putting it.
Well, another way to describe how long they've been out is during the initial height of COVID, all naval ships were held outside of port for fear of cross contamination
right,
for several months. It
right.
has been out of port almost double that time.
Yeah.
It's been out of port for almost double the time that ships were
It,
locked out of port for the lockdown.
yep, it's been out for 8 months.
8 months. Other than the assassination,
Oh,
how was the play?
because it's been out of port since November. So,
Yeah. And again, catastrophic loss of morale, I would say. Um, so they are sending out another. They are sending out another ship to go take its place, another carrier. But
yeah.
this is not. This isn't exactly isolated. This isn't exactly
No.
a unique situation. A lot of these ships, while maybe not 8 month deployment, have been out for longer than standard deployment. And there is no evidence that there's a plan in place to replace the ships that are out there in a systematic way. Um,
Well, when it was brought up that they needed to resupply back in April, the powers that be laughed and called the reports of needing to resupply fake news.
okay. I mean that being my point there. Yes. So it is a we're looking at again, what I will call, we're looking at the probability of a catastrophic loss of morale
Oh yeah.
coming up. And
Well, that tends to happen when you have a catastrophic loss of morals.
Yeah.
amazing how the words sound so similar.
Yeah.
Um, so, now, I, I, what I have heard is that the sailor who flung himself from the deck, the general consensus seems to be that he was trying to take his own life. However, there's been no, as far as I can tell, confirmed statements that that's actually what he was trying to do. And when I first heard the story, my thought was, oh, is he trying to abandon ship? Like, just swim away?
Given he's not the only one that tried it, uh, there are conflicting reports on the exact number, but the number of sailors that did try to jump off of the ship when it came within sight of something is in the double digits.
So,
I am guessing that due to no food, no anything, they were not trying. They were going with, I'm leaving, and if I get to land or something else, that's great. And if I don't, at least I'm not suffering anymore.
right. Um, so yeah, it's that is, I think, what I would call a catastrophic loss of morale. And
It's not just that; it's a catastrophic loss of morale with video proof.
right,
Because everybody was taking short videos and sending them home to prove how bad things were on the ship. And Hegseth specifically was blowing all of those reports off April, May, May to June, June, July, July to August, at least for the past 4 months or 5 months as being fake.
okay,
Yeah, Maddie, you're probably right. And they will probably need to do that because um,
yeah,
they may not, they may refuse to serve under this administration any further.
yeah,
I don't think it's going to be quiet or quote unquote honorable.
That is also unfortunately a possibility.
that is true too. And I don't know what you just texted me, Peanut Gallery, but I am not gonna go reading it because I am afraid it's terrifying. I know
I
you.
sent the same one to the ASOC prod, so we can let her judge whether or not it's safe for air.
Remember the Roosevelt during COVID. Yeah. This isn't the first naval ship that Trump has
I'll have to
wrecked.
go find my phone because I don't
Remember
have it
the
in here.
Roosevelt during COVID. Yes. Yeah. Um, so the other part of what this, the international can of worms that this opens up is that uh, the Iranian government, the people in charge in Iran, have no desire to see this war end and have said that they have publicly said in an interview with the press that they are going to wait until the midterms. or not the
Yep.
midterms, until the presidential elections. They're
Mhm.
gonna wait Trump out. It's not that long till we get a new president. They don't mind
It's
waiting.
too long.
Too long for us. It's not too long for them.
Too long for our soldiers.
Yeah.
Oh, they want it to end. They just don't. Yeah, 2 years. They don't want it to. They want it to end. They don't want to end on anything other than their terms, unless I think unless whoever comes into the presidency next. I I think it depends very much on who is president next. And if whoever's in president becomes president next is capable of developing and wielding enough soft power, I think Iran might be willing to give up a few concessions. It's it is possible to get out of this mess with Iran. It is possible to get Iran to not walk away with complete control of the Strait of Hormuz and a nuclear weapon fast track. It is possible to, and it's possible to work things out with Iran to where there is possibility for future negotiations and diplomatic interaction. Um, Trump is already acting like he's fast tracking their nuclear goals, yeah, and Iran will never give up that straight. Not completely, no. Now that they know they have such they now that they know that there's such easy control over it, no, they'll never give up that. Even if that strait no longer becomes relevant, they will hold it. Just me,
Mhm.
Crystal. Much love. Thank you for the 100 biddies. Thank you so much. Mwah. Thank you. Much love, Just me, Crystal. Um, it, Iran won't give up the control of the Strait of Hormuz, but there is a way to limit their control over that strait without uh, without diminishing too much use of the strait, and that would be to what is the international waters treaty thing that neither us nor Iran is part of, which is part of why there's no one else to uh it was always that way. That's why previous presidents didn't go hard on Iran. They knew that doing that would destroy global transportation lines. Trump is just a moron who didn't understand that or care. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, the way to minimize their control is to join that international waters treaty and leverage them to do it too. And the leverage to get them to do it isn't is not just by saying, okay, you can have a nuclear program, like a nuclear power program. The leverage to do it is by saying, we will give you the reactors, and we will give you the enrichment or the Now, along with that goes the we will also stay and keep a very close eye on what you're doing. Um, but the key to leveraging the Strait of Hormuz, some control back of the Strait of Hormuz, is to give Iran some of what they want, a lot of what they want in other places, and let them keep a lot of still control. Like they would have not just control on paper, but there may be some sort of monetary payment to them in the form of a maintenance fee, not for any singular company, but for the international community to pay to Iran. The other part of that being that Iran has to then also maintain the strait, keep it in pretty good shape. Yeah.
I think one of the reasons
Uh
why we're stuck in this mess
I like to
is
say bribe with pretty words. I'm
one of
sorry, what
these.
were
One of the reasons we're stuck in this mess is the Trump liquor cabinet, specifically Highball Hegseth, thought it was straight up vermouth, and we're trying to get specialty martinis.
so we went from basically free trade for everyone to now paying a toll troll tax. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Trump. Yeah, exactly. The only way to get out of this problem is to repackage the old Iran nuclear power deal with a few extra bonuses. And I mean, okay, there is there's another part of this that is that there is, along with doing this, along with giving them, yeah, really, thanks Obama too. Thank you everybody who just kept kicking that can down the road. Same with the people who kept kicking the China can down the road, and the environmental one and all of it. Uh oh, I'm sorry. What was the
Is this because Obama's the one that brokered the original deal?
Yeah, it was a pretty sweet deal all the way around. Yes. Yes, you're right. I misunderstood. I also didn't read Obama. I read W. I don't know why when I read Obama I thought George W. Bush. So now here's the thing. It's all of the damage that has been done, all of the problems that are going on, they can be solved. We can get out of this situation. Once we get out of this situation, it requires a lot more delicacy and a lot more soft power strength to influence Iran and China to give up their human rights abuses.
Well, it also requires us to stop trying to catch up to their record.
It really does. It really does.
There
I'm
are some
also
races we do not need to win.
I have left the idea that Trump can get out of this a long time ago. Trump is only going to dig us deeper. I'm saying a vote for me is a vote for stronger use of sensible soft power in foreign affairs. A vote for me is a vote for the inclusion of all of our allies in solving these heretofore unsolvable problems of international politics. There's a way out of the problem in the Middle East, by the way. And oddly enough, the problem in Israel that's going on, and by problem I mean genocide, with Israel and Gaza and Israel and Lebanon is, oddly enough, if you didn't know, arm in arm linked with the problem in Iran. So, how the U.S. behaves over here is going to have a serious effect on what happens over here. And one of the things that Iran is going to need in order to start accepting the thought that America may be willing to actually follow through with any deals it makes at this point is for America to intervene in what's going on in Lebanon. I'd say intervene in what's going on in Palestine, or in Gaza, but there's just not enough Gaza left. They've razed that entire place. We should never give up on anybody. And as long as there is one person, one Palestinian left in Gaza, we should still get involved and try and help that person.
Oh, that's what I was going to look up.
But the settler and military expansion of Israel into Lebanon is where we could show Iran that we actually care. If we halted that, then if we, then Iran would be willing to take us seriously and come to the table and actually negotiate a deal with us instead of just going, okay, give us everything you've got. Now, dealing with Israel means drastically changing our policy, our pro-Israel policy, to being almost the complete opposite of that, which is, don't mistake me for being anti-Jewish. I'm anti-Israel. The state of Israel has gone too far and needs to stop. All right. And as soon as I am done with this rant, I will get to all of your comments, Maddie. I'm so sorry that it's taking me so long. By putting Israel in check, by stopping their expansionist... What?
No, not what he said.
Sorry, I had to make a bad
Wrong
joke.
spelling of that word.
By putting Israel in check and stopping their colonialist expansion into Lebanon and throughout Palestine, would go a long way into buying, not just buying, but into convincing Iran that we have good intentions. And I think that it would morally be the correct action to take anyway, even if we weren't going to use it to prove to Iran that they actually want to take whatever deal we start offering them, or not take, but consider that they actually want to negotiate. It would morally be the correct thing to do, because what Israel is doing is just as morally incorrect as what Russia is doing to Ukraine. And by being pro Israel, we are sending a message to Vladimir Putin that we're not necessarily anti Russia in this whole thing. And I think that the U.S. needs to stand on moral grounds with Ukraine and Palestine. And that standing on moral grounds, while it's something we should do for its own sake, it will give the U.S. enough credibility to begin to develop enough soft power to start affecting, at the very least, affecting the human rights violations we're seeing throughout the world. All right, now, let's get to Matty Holmes's rant. I had mine. What do you got to say? Peanut Gallery said 25 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents. Here's your change. Trump just got all salty because he felt threatened by a smarter and better black man and had to throw a massive international temper tantrum. Tell us, John F. Kennedy. There are some races in the U.S. the U.S. does not need to win, and some records that do not need to be broken. Here's a fun little future outcome. Once Trump is out and all of those payments to different countries to house our concentration camp victims, those countries are just going to let all those people out and deport them, probably back to the U.S. It's a human rights apocalypse, slow walking already. Yeah, it really is. I remember when Kushner was bragging to turn Gaza into his group's beachfront property. Yeah, that's probably what's about to happen. But Kamala Harris was a woman and not white, so she was somehow worse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's a cop, and she's still better than him.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about where we are with Spamberger. She's a cop, but she's better than the alternative.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing it back to local news, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
a local dispensary got busted a couple of days ago. And now I'm not going to say the name of the dispensary because I'm going to talk crap about them for a second. And I'm not going to talk mean crap, but I'm going to talk crap. No, they are not my sponsor. And in fact, oh God, okay, so the day before this happened, I was talking to the sponsor, and we were talking about how economics is making general sales lower. Do I sense a conflict of interest, CBS News? Of course you do. That's why we call ourselves members of the press and not journalists. I talk crap about AI music. Well, not AI music, but I talk crap about AIs. And one of my sponsors makes AI music. So, um, so, anyway, I was talking to one of the sponsors I was talking to one of the people from Hidden Leaf, and we were talking about how economics was a thing, and the economy is doing the stuff it's doing. Um, and I said, but I think you're gonna see a surge in sales soon. The once the students are pardon me, settled back in, once parents have their high school students settled back in, and people, there's always a lot of money being spent right at the beginning of school, so that once that evens back out, you're going to see customers coming back in, you'll see some more sales coming back. So but you know so the next day, somebody's like, oh yeah, this place got busted. And all of a sudden, say people, customers just coming in from that had been customers of the other dispensary. And I said to him, I mean, I know I predicted it, but this is not what I meant. This is not what I meant at all. Oh, is this... Yeah, okay. This other place, what they were doing is they were... How much of this do I feel like I can actually...
If I may,
You may.
this is turned up on Reddit, the local Reddit for Charlottesville area.
Okay.
And it has been entertaining to me to read the comments
Okay.
because most of them, like the first flush of comments that were made when it was posted, were all about how they obviously got busted because of the new hemp laws that have gone into effect. And then down a little ways, after like an hour or so, you've got someone popping up saying, well, that may have had something to do with it, but more likely it's the fact that they were online bragging about X, Y, and Z multiple times and posting pictures of doing X, Y, and Z and selling things that they should not have been, that were contrary to everything that did this.
And tax evasion.
That was one of the X, Y's, and Z's mentioned.
That's one of the few things I'm going to say that they did. They evaded taxes and bragged about it. And no matter who you are, don't fuck with the IRS. I will drop an F-bomb for that. Don't fuck with the IRS. Man alive. I am saying, don't they... Who here remembers Al Capone?
Yeah.
Do you know who doesn't mess with the IRS? Canonically. Do you know who pays the IRS every cent they owe the IRS? The Joker. Even the Joker don't mess with the IRS. I'm just saying, homie. Of course you got busted. I bet you they could have overlooked that you were selling out the back less than so far from a school. Like, they would have overlooked that if you hadn't bragged about not paying the IRS. Are they capitalists? Yeah, they are. I'm pretty sure they are. This company has gotten in trouble multiple times for a couple of things. They've gotten kicked out of the local cannabis markets for not complying with the rules. So, yeah, it's. And I'm still trying not to say their name because.
That's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'm trying not to say their
Anybody that
name and
wants
the
to go
other thing
find
they
it, they'll
did.
find news of it their own self.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What a move. What a dumb move.
Like I
No,
said,
here's the thing. Like, okay, here is the thing. The people, those of us, and I'm vaguely including myself in this because I'm advertising for people in the industry. Those of us in this industry, those of us in the need to be cognizant of what we're doing. Like, we need to be aware that doing stuff like this endangers the whole, not only endangers the whole movement, but is going to get extra cracked down on. You know, they are really gonna ratchet up on those who step out of line. Because they want, and I don't blame them for this, I get it. They want a very orderly marketplace. They want the rules very much in place, and they don't want people screwing around. It's not in the local news yet. I don't know if it's in the local news or not. Oh, local real news try to rules in a head shop? Yeah. Well, yeah. Don't sell stuff that is still illegal. That's still on their list. Don't. That is one of the rules.
and
Yeah.
the other major one is verify the age of your customer.
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing that's the other thing is, yeah, a lot of customers were coming in saying, oh, yeah, they weren't carding. They never carded us. They'll come into the front desk and go, they never carded us. Front desk there is going, yeah, well, you see what happened to them? That's not happening here. There's a reason we're carding you.
The Reddit thing. There's multiple accounts of seeing obvious children hanging around
Yeah. Yeah.
or being left outside.
Yeah.
See, a couple of years ago, I went to another one of the local shops just because it had a funny name. Quite literally, the only reason I went there.
I would too.
And I wanted to verify the source of this name, which I did.
Yes.
Oh,
Went inside.
you went to our
They-
competitor.
Yes. And I think this was actually before you really started this up anyway.
Oh, I'm sure it was. No, I disliked them before I started doing this. There's
That's
something
okay.
about that, and I will name this shop. This is Skooma. You went into Skooma. Because
I
if
went
people
in-
don't know the name of the shop, they may not get the joke.
Ah.
I wasn't going to bother telling the joke. This
Oh.
is another anecdote. I went in there. They had
No,
someone.
it's not. Skooma's not an antidote. Antidote. Sk-
You
I'm
went in
sorry.
for.
He's gonna hit me through the TV soon.
Contemplating.
If I could choke you through the camera, I would. Sorry.
Anyway.
Please continue.
Unfortunately, the farce is too strong with you.
Hey, Chris
But-
in the 386, thank you for being here. Continue.
They
Please continue.
scanned my ID, and that's how I was informed my ID had expired. Because I don't look at my license.
I forgot
That
that part of.
That is funny.
I forgot that part entirely.
That's the part that sticks in my mind.
No, what sticks in my mind is the fact that you walk in and that room was so antiseptically clean and empty. It looked like you were walking into a shop like that you'd expect to be set somewhere in Beverly Hills, where they've got everything in glass cases and nothing listed with price. So you've got to sit there and point and hope that they will tell you the price and not laugh you out of the store for not knowing.
Yep. And it really is like that's what put me off. That's why I did not want to go in there. Is like they have a very much of we are the best. We are the only. We are the best. And if
But
you are
we can
not on
verify
our
that
level,
that the name was intentional and where we thought it came from. Because they
Fallout.
had some sort of like
No,
or no, not Fallout. It's the other Bethesda game,
I wasn't going to say anything about that.
Elden Ring.
No. Oh,
Okay, now I'm just doing it to hear your. Now I'm doing it just to hear your head explode.
they had a. It's supposed to be like Tiger Balm,
StarCraft. What?
but their version of a external pain relief balm that they called Moon Sugar.
Well, the references are very strong inside their product line.
Yeah.
I mean, they are, but also there's okay. A lot of stuff that they probably have is probably not names that they came up with. It's probably names of like because there are a lot of Star Wars references. They're in full lines of just in full strains of cannabis. There are I mean there's a lot of referential material used in naming cannabis and cannabis products.
Probably, but they made the active choice to select the ones that reflected the same property for the store and everything else.
Yeah. Well,
So they
at
may not
least
have
there's
made the
that.
choice to name the strain that way, but they definitely made the choice to select that strain.
Yeah. I know of a massive local VA hospital where a head shop opened about 50 years ago, basically across the street. People hated that shop, but it existed in that place for about 40 years and made absolute bank. He's paid to shill for them, not paid to be exclusive to them. Yes, Fallout 76 is all about post nuclear apocalypse Appalachia. It is set,
Specifically West by God, Virginia.
Yeah.
yeah,
A
it's
lot of
set
people tend to
nearish,
forget the
hereish.
middle two syllables.
Oh, for the middle two syllables for what?
West by God, Virginia.
West by God, Virginia, y'all. I did forget those. That's because I'm from Virginia, y'all.
That's why I'm aware of those middle two syllables.
You do realize, Kat, by making the word of the week fluffy,
Yeah.
you have just guaranteed that I am going to play a mashup of songs tomorrow during my DJ set.
That's perfectly fine. Go for it.
I am going to mash up 3 songs. One of them is Fluffy Little Clouds, the other is Unfluffy Little Clouds, and the third is Down in It by 9 Inch Nails. Fluffy Little Clouds by Orb and Down in It by 9 Inch Nails actually go really well together. They're kind of dissonant, kind of not. So, you're not from East... No, we're all from Central Virginia. We're all
Speak
from
for yourself.
Central Virginia. Well, okay. No, you're right. I'm from Central Virginia. We're all in Central Virginia. Louisa County is the eastern outskirts of Central Virginia. Richmond starts getting into Eastern Virginia. And then East Virginia is West by God, Virginia still sends its taxes to Richmond. Oh, damn.
They don't, yeah, they do. They don't go to the West Virginia Capitol for use. They go to Richmond, who then distributes them back.
Wow.
Yeah. They're an entirely separate state that's ceded, and yet somehow they still send us their taxes.
I didn't realize we had that kind of a hold on them still.
Yeah.
Dang, y'all. Dang. Our richest cities send their taxes to the rural areas. Our rural areas send their taxes to the richest cities around here.
Yeah, definitely.
The money definitely flow up. The
Well, that's
sewage.
because it's an opposite river from the one that all of the sewage lines empty into.
New River, much like the Nile, is one of the few rivers that actually flows north.
I forgot about that. You are correct.
The New River, arguably one of the oldest, if not the oldest river in the world, flows north, unlike most of the other rivers in the world.
Which person's accent, Maddie?
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I had a bit of a flare up. My Virginia got a little inflamed.
So it's for your accent. So take care of that flare up. You'd be taking preparation H.
I should hurt you. That is a question for a geologist or someone else to answer, not me.
That begs the question, where did your river start flowing originally when the Earth was in that position? You know, that is a geologist question. Um, is that the alternative to Bengay?
Something like that.
I'm not doing this job. I knew a Bengay. Knew him well. Um,
And we are right back to Detective Foghorn Leghorn. I am stepping away for a moment while y'all finish this conversation.
I was trying.
I need more tea. You guys go ahead and keep talking accents. Or whatever.
Tiger heat. Tiger heat. Round here we use bomb. Tiger bomb. Lick.
So
Icy hot.
you say bomb, and there is a
Bomb.
there's a I guess a hymn, not
Ham.
a hymn,
Ham.
Balm in Gilead. I remember practicing that in high school choir because yes, I went to a private school that was attached to a church, and
I'm
every
sorry.
last one of us would say bomb,
Bomb.
not balm.
Bomb.
So a number of us would randomly break into the quote unquote metal version and say there is a bomb in Gilead.
There is a bomb in Gilead. Funnily enough, Leghorn was basically a ripoff of another comedic character about a Southern senator. Yes. He was. I'm trying to remember. He was a combination of. Go away, kid. You bother me. W.C. Fields. He was a W.C. Fields, and I think somebody else, but Senator Cleghorn. Okay. Was that a W.C. Fields character? Or was it a direct ripoff of? Interesting. Okay. It was Senator Cleghorn meets W.C. Fields. Because I know there are some things in there that were very W.C. Fields. Um,
We're going back to how Looney Tunes has absolutely corrupted the public zeitgeist.
mm-hmm. They
Like
were good at
Nimrod.
that. Changed. Affected. Um, well, all right. Where were we? We just finished talking about not messing with the IRS.
We were having a very mathematical argument. It was all about tangents.
Tangent. I feel like something else has gone on in the news, and I'm forgetting to bring it up. Um, I did not co-sign to that con. I read conversion, but I think it was supposed to be conversation. Um, let's see. What was the? We touched on the local news about people getting busted, about the snake kicking over the lamp. Um, about oh man, I'm at a loss. I feel like there's maybe one or two really big things that I'm forgetting to talk about so far this week. Oh, like Mrs. O'Leary's cow in Chicago. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was a fire. We talked about this earlier. There was a fire uh, recently, locally. And on the radio, as I was listening to the radio, listening to NPR, Radio IQ, and they were talking about it, and the presenter said, uh, the local fire investigators have determined that it was caused by a snake kicking over a heat lamp, and then moved on. And like I'm driving down the road. Like I'm paying attention to the road. B, I'm just kind of listening. And I heard that, and I'm already like a little ways down the road, and I'm like, wait, what? Right? Kicked, like kicked over. We have bigger problems than whatever fire this snake caused. If a snake can kick something over, we have bigger problems. It was a heat lamp, but it caused a fire. I I do believe what they meant was knocked over, but what I heard was kicked, and I'm going with kicked. A snake kicked over a lamp and caused a fire, and now we have to worry about snakes with legs.
Well,
Again.
it knocked it over because it was just jamming to an 80s tune.
Oh no.
The heat is on.
Yes. My question.
And so we went back to this.
That we didn't start the fire.
I'm still going with my question, which is, it is August
Yeah.
in Virginia.
Yeah.
Why did we have a heater on at all?
The heat lamp was on for the casing for the snake because the air conditioning and thermostat are set at central office for the school building.
Why did they leave the snake there over the summer? This should have been a pet that goes home with somebody so it has air during the summer, not been left effectively unattended.
And Maddie comes in with the white snake joke. White snake joke for the win. For the win, Maddie. White snake joke takes it. Thank you. White Snake was the hair metal band that set the venue on fire.
Especially that county.
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
So here's one coming to you in Messenger.
Oh, I'm terrified. All right. So what else happened this week that we think deserves talking about?
I'm certain there are a number of things that we're forgetting.
Yeah. Hmm.
Let's see. The BBC is working on sending subpoenas to all of Trump's family.
Nice,
They've been
nice.
momentarily blocked from some of his financial records, but they're making progress in getting all the information for that particular defamation lawsuit.
Yeah. Artworks being recovered? Which artworks, Maddie? It's right up NPR's upper middle class zeitgeist. Ouch. Oh. Right in the truth. Um.
Right. I did hear that vaguely. I didn't hear a lot about it, but I did see that in passing.
Oh, wow.
We talked about Luigi first.
Yeah, we talked about Luigi. Um, he's playing
And
the
his lesser known brother Mario.
um we talked about how Luigi's playing the playing the court systems against each other so that he can get out of it without being convicted of murder. He'll still end up. Oh, Ice's new shock gloves. Yes. Those things, those I mean, I'm surprised it took so long. Right?
So my question is, do we want to take bets as to how long before an ICE agent ends up in the ICU because they scratched their nards with that on?
Not long,
Right?
given their track record of gun safety.
Right. This is gonna end poorly for somebody, probably for an innocent person, but considering the ineptitude of ICE, it seems about as likely that ICE is going to injure themselves. VC talk about icy, huh?
Let's see. We mentioned the data centers.
Like it.
I've come across at least one or two different reports where they were talking to what are normally very Republican communities. They're like, no, no. If they try to put a data center here, we're going with all of the Democrats and we're blocking this thing.
Yeah, it is reaching cross parties.
It's nice that we have two issues that are starting to reunite this nation: data centers and flock cameras.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, and these are the two that are starting to really go cross party. And
Which
it
actually
will.
may prove the truth that, a decent alien invasion and we'd all unite too.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, nope, that thought didn't manifest. It started and then it just went away.
Let me see. We mentioned some of the wildfires. We mentioned the flooding in Indiana.
Yeah, yeah. We
We
briefly
mentioned
mentioned the flooding in Indiana.
There's mudslides in Colorado. I saw video of like I-70 shut down by a mudslide that was covered both sides of the road and a significant distance on either side of the overpass where the video was taken from.
Oh, wow.
Back when those used to be called joy buzzers.
I,
Mm-hmm.
what's that?
Um,
What's that link to, Maddie?
An image in Discord in your random stuff tab.
Aha. Ah! I had a couple of those over the years. Your Discord. Yep. I'm there now. We saw it. We got there. Only two? Yeah, only two. I'm not. I've never was a big practical joke guy.
I was never practical about my jokes.
Yeah, right? For one, I was the butt of a lot of practical jokes as a kid. Like, and so it sort of soured me on the experience. Uh, Also, I had, uh, at some point, I had it explained to me that practical jokes were much like mutually assured destruction. And so I was not into it.
hmm.
Um, I did. There is one time where I have played my best practical joke ever. Selling prank toys in back alleyways, suitcase pinned around your tree. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not that guy.
I wasn't the guy
I'm
selling
just,
them. I was the guy who was buying them out.
Hmm.
yeah, I just wasn't deploying them. But no, I really, also, after my best practical joke ever, there was no way I could top it. So I just didn't try.
I'm trying to put a finger on what you're talking about.
Don't eat your own supply. Exactly. Have I told y'all about the best practical joke I ever played?
You told us during game.
Oh, I
I'm
know I told you to. I thought I told you to before that.
Nope.
Oh, jeez. For about 5 minutes now, but you haven't actually explained it. Just endless lead up.
He's an edgelord.
Thank you. You got there before I did.
That's my comedy. Oh, wait, no, that's my sex life. A comedy. I had the I had the worst day of my life up until that point, definitely, and one of the worst days of my life. The woman I thought I was engaged to had come into the place I worked. I was working in a kitchen. I was working at Miller's. I was working in the kitchen at Miller's in Charlottesville. one of the diviest bars of all the dive bars at the time. And she'd come in to tell me that she was pregnant by another man and she was going to marry him. And then I got a phone call telling me my grandmother was dead. And I probably should have left work. But I didn't. I went back into the kitchen and went back to prepping salad mix. And I don't. I know it was red cabbage when I started because I know only red cabbage went into our salad mix. It was red cabbage and iceberg lettuce, shredded carrot, and a few other things. But as I was chopping this cabbage, completely wrong, by the way, mid chop, something just felt incredibly different. And even if the cabbage hadn't been red when I started, it turned red very quick. And I looked down, and the tip of my finger was sitting amongst the chopped cabbage. And I ran over to the kitchen, to the sink, and ran water, ran cold water over it. I cleaned it off real quick and looked out through the door of the kitchen out to the back of the bar where I saw one of the new crop of waitresses at the bar. This poor, unsuspecting 19-year-old girl. A girl next door, blue polka dot dress, just the cutest little bob of a haircut. Just the biggest puppy dog, like just the cutest eyes, so just so innocent. And I looked down at my finger, which was gushing blood into the sink. And I wrapped my finger real tight in my other hand. Took a deep breath to stop myself from laughing. Ran over out there, ran up to her. And with puppy dog eyes, I think I hurt myself. And blood just starts pouring out of my hand, squirting out of my face. Start squirting her with my blood. She starts screaming. I start cackling. Oh, I am sorry. I'm sorry, Maddie. I mean, it was awful. It was an awful thing to do to a person. It was terrible. She is traumatized by it still, I am sure. But it was hilarious to me. Oh my God. So, yeah, I mean, obviously most of the fingertip grew back. It's mostly there. I've eaten through worse. Right? Yeah, actually, Kat, you're right. You should really know not to eat during this stream. Just tried to take my first bite. Oh, man. Oh, that. Oh. Yeah, so that was,
So what was breakfast today supposed to be, Maddie?
Well, now air. Thank you. I'm not feeling it. Um, I mean, and the thing is, I'm not gonna top that.
I was about to ask if it was scrambled
Hey.
eggs with ketchup.
Oh, bit of cheese. Oh, yeah, no. No.
Sorry, you're listening to this show. You've got way more than a bit of cheese. Ooh, that actually sounds pretty good.
Ooh. It does. And it's just about
Speaking,
time for me to start getting hungry, so.
speaking of practical jokes, did I ever tell you about the lighter my ex tried to give my mother?
No.
Um, we were wandering around the mall and ended up at Spencer's one day, and he found a lighter that when you lit it, it would shock you, much like a joy buzzer.
I love that.
Bought it with the intention of giving it to my mother because she was a smoker. And he tried it a couple times. He's like, "Yeah, that hurts. But that's not a bad hurt. That's okay. You know it." But he
It's
tried
not a
it a couple
bad
times.
hurt.
I tried it to make sure it wasn't something terribly dangerous because he is a welder, so therefore he may not feel things the same way a normal person would.
Sourdough bread is just white bread for adults.
Yes.
I love it.
Um. Anyway, he tries it a couple times. I try it. Thing works. I'm like, okay, this is not going to do anything terrible. You are free to give this to her. So he does. And in front of him, she opens it, she flicks it, tells him it's not working because all it did was spark. It didn't actually light. Like it was, because that was the gimmick of the whole lighter. And reacted in no other way. Just deadpan. Oh, this isn't working. Hands it back to him. He tries it and drops it because he wasn't expecting the shock because she said not
Right.
working. And he has spent the last, I don't know how long, every now and then going back to that memory and trying to figure out how she did not react.
Did somebody warn her ahead of time? Or did she just
No.
have a naturally high tolerance to electrical current?
Have I mentioned she was born in Homestead, Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah. Polish child born in Florida.
Well, you know why jokes about electricians never get old.
Well, they're always current.
Exactly.
Yes.
I will
Honestly,
brook
I'm
no
thinking it's mostly.
resistance to electrician humor.
I'm thinking mostly it's because he was generally, because of welding and stuff, he was generally wearing clothes that had him grounded to ground stuff out so he didn't accidentally fry himself. Or not grounded, insulated so he didn't accidentally fry himself.
Right.
Opposite. And she did not.
Right.
And I'm thinking somehow between the two of them, because he had nowhere for the shock to go and she did, it didn't bother her nearly as much as it bothered him.
Right. That would.
What was so shocking? Did he get caught for peddling crack?
Or did someone decide to ground the outlet to the sink drain trap again?
Yeah. He was working on a water heater. The wires were wrapped around a pipe. His helper told him the wires were off. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh. buddy, I'm sorry. Oh, that's
Nope, that's not okay.
Would have been fine, but standing in a large
he's
puddle of
standing in
water.
the water. Yup.
Does he still have hair, and how curly is it now?
Oof. And that was a 220 circuit, wasn't it? Or a two, yeah. That was a
Mm-hmm.
220 circuit, wasn't it? Not a 110. He didn't have that much hair to start. Oof. Anyway, I think we are gonna call it in about here, folks. It's getting on towards the 2 o'clock mark.
It's getting on towards ad read o'clock.
Yes, add read
Yeah.
o'clock, exactly.
At 8 o'clock, he said it took about 3 days for his chest and hearing to his chest
Mm.
and hair to start feeling normal. Heart. And no, he did not go to the hospital. Damn. Yeah. Oh. Oof. Rough. It's, you know, working with electricity is incredibly dangerous. Working around electricity is incredibly dangerous. Just always double check everything. Always, everything up to code. Always be, and that's why he's a plumber, right? Should be fine.
I don't know. I heard it's a shitty job. Just a pipe dream.
Today's show has been brought to you. I couldn't do it with a straight
What's your
face.
future down the toilet?
Oh, I know. I do, actually. I know exactly how, what being a plumber is like. I spent a good portion of my childhood as a plumber's assistant in the middle of winter, standing in. Anyway, I don't want to think
I
about
got a
it.
dumb question for you. Were you a skinny child?
Me?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So, being a plumber's assistant wasn't the euphemism for being a living pipe snake.
Yeah, no, it was not. Although I was quite often used to get into spots that other people couldn't. His dad was a plumber back when they were still soldering with real lead. Oh, man. And he said his dad would force him to melt the lead nuggets back together in a closed garage without any face protection or PPE.
Ew.
Oh. Oh, man. All right. I'm trying not to think about that. I don't want to remember being a plumber. Today's show was brought to you in association with Sky Mall VA Smoking Lounge, Hidden Leaf, downtown Charlottesville, 105 West Main Street on the downtown mall. A great place to go with some great buds to get some great buds. A bud, and the only thing better than their bud is their customer service. We are also brought to you in association with Kush Gang Snacks, findable on Instagram at KGSnacks434, and also available at Sky Mall VA Smoking Lounge, where you can also find one of our other sponsors, Dope Ash Drinkables. Get dope, stay dope, be dope. Available at Sky Mall Smoking Lounge. We are also brought to you in association with Firehouse Organics. spelled with a Z. I am, man, I'm
Yeah.
getting this wrong. I am wrecking this. Uh, Back when plumbing actually had actual plums. Yes. Uh, Firehouse Organics, spelled with a Z. A note of disclaimer: all of the opinions you have heard in today's show belong to the expressor of the opinion, and or me, and or the rest of us, and or the channel and or parent company, but do not necessarily belong to any of our advertisers, including Sky Mall VA and Hidden Leaf, as well as Kush Gang Snacks and Dope Ash Drinkables and Firehouse Organics. Findable on Instagram at Firehouse Organics. That's what I was forgetting. Wow. Uh, yeah. All of our opinions are our own. And plumbing used to have plums. Plumb, plumbus being Latin for lead, because that was what the first plumbing was made out of, because it was a malleable soft metal. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, everybody in chat. Thank you, Maddie Holmes. Thank you, Just Me Crystal. Thank you, Chris in the 386. That's everybody who was in chat, I believe.
Yep. We haven't had a lot of people in chat, but we've had lurkers.
Yes. We've had lurkers. Thank you, all you lurkers. Much love to everybody. And, stick around for the raid. And now is the time on the show when I say, as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down. VA, double deuces. We're out, y'all. Would you trade all the time that you have left to live in the past? Is all that you have left your regrets? Just a handful of happy memories, but they are where you can live with nothing else left to you. You retreat into the stories and the memories. The stories and the memories are all you have left. Would you trade all of your tomorrow